Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Let me introduce myself. My name is Miftakhur and you can call me Miftah. I am from book report on literature A and my student number is 1900026157 and I am here to talk about the eccentric elements of the Great Gatsby. Social conflict, according to German philosopher Karl Marx, is a class war between the proletariat and the bourgeois inherent in a capitalist and industrial society. Rommel 1977, and a power as a coercive force uses to impose norms on the masses against their will. Millstone and the Mayor 2012. Mimetic approach by Abrams 1953 is mimetic approach. Also writing imaginarily, literature also explore human behavior in society. This video will analyze and show and describe the relationship between literary and human life using a mimetic approach by Abrams. As a theory, the word mimetic comes from the Greek word mimesis, which is the act of imitation. The mimetic approach is the interest in the relationship between literary and the universe. According to this approach, the artist is an imitator of the visual aspect of the universe. They usually based on the social, cultural, and political reality, later adapt to become a literary works. American society in 1920s. In his novel, Fitzgerald addressed the issue of the new and old money in American culture during the 1920s. The social issues that were represented in the actual life still continue to exist now. The Great Gatsby was written as the satire for an American society in the 1920s, where in the deterioration of the social and moral value with materialism, prejudice, and the American dream proven pointless since the economy booms after World War I. In America, the middle and the lower classes are attempting to become a new money, which is the old money parties that don't want their home area disturbed. Like when the Tom asks, "Who is the Gatsby anyway?" Some kid put later. Nick answered, "Did you hear that somewhere?" I didn't hear it from say. It was all in my head. You know, a lot of these newly rich Dutch are just big lookers. Tom Buchanan is the member of the old money family who graduated from Yale University and reside in its the home for old money family with their gorgeous home that often few badly for of the new money classes. The American economy at the period was certainly not beneficial to the poorer classes. In fact, it favored the wealthy even more. The poor class people are constantly confronted with the same difficulties, such as mounting debt and employment. For instance, James Gates is the officer that fall in love with the Daisy Way, an elite socialite in Louisville. However, Daisy later married Tom Buchanan, a wealthy gentleman from Chicago. Then, after returning from World War I, James changed his name to J. Gatsby to conceal his true identity to be the member of the New Money Club. He wants to be like Tom Buchanan and to be close to Daisy. But old money has tendency to look down on new money, and they do the same to the Gatsby also. At the end of the story, Gatsby is able to prove that he is better person than the Buchanans. He must pay the price with his life to cover up their crimes due to Gatsby's love for Daisy blinded him. This unfortunately indicates that the privileged will always triumph over the poor because their fortune. And the second is West and the East egg is the real, or the setting place is real. The took place in the real life with the Great Neck as the West Egg and Manhasset Hills as the East Egg, which are both located on Long Island. From 1922 until 1924, Fitzgerald's family lived on the Gateway Drive on the Great Neck, New York City. The Manhasset Hill was home for the 19th century aristocrats or the nobles, while the Great Neck was the home for the new money or businessmen. Fitzgerald obviously wants to show how the society in America was divided between the old money and the new money to determine and also who was the most dominant class at the time. Marriage in America during 1920s. True love was seen as meaningless in the American society at the time. Marriage was a way to gain social position and popularity. This happened to Gatsby, who couldn't be with Daisy in the end due to their social class difference, forcing Daisy to marry Tom, who was considerably wealthy than Gatsby. Merle Wilson is a lower-class wife who opted to be a Tom Buchanan mistress in the hopes of social equity, despite being nothing but a toy for Tom. And then the Roaring Twenties. The Roaring Twenties is the era where women began to achieve rights in that year, rather than adhering to Victorian standard. At the party, the flappers or like the women would listen to a popular jazz music, and sex was no longer a taboo subject. Of course, flapper dress became associated with America in the 1920s. The women will cut their hair short and wear makeup with the stylish dress. Furthermore, as Gatsby does every week by throwing a large party for hundreds of people from East Egg and West Egg, Fitzgerald reveals that a party are very crucial or vital at the time to represent their social class. All of Gatsby's fees were for naught or nothing, because at the end of the novel, none of the people who had attended his party attended Gatsby's funeral, except Nick and Owl's glasses man and his father. The American dream of the 1920s continues to remain happens in the America today, where the American dream is the hope for better future. Fitzgerald described the society in 1920s become more degenerate and corrupt, indicate that the beginning of the downfall of the American influence after the Wall Street crash in 1929, the Great Depression swept over the America, showing that if we continue to aim for more than we can achieve, we will fail, as Gatsby and the Great Depression did. Instead of pursuing meaningless consumerism, fiscal is that we should focus on the things that are more important than to one conscience, since this will bring a true happiness. I think that's enough from me. Thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.